Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. So today I just want to have a quick chat. It won't be a long video, but I just want to have a quick chat about the Jag XF that I've just bought. Those who don't know, I've just bought not an XF, sorry, an X Type. I always get them confused. They look nothing alike, but yeah, so an X Type, which I bought from Copart, which I'm against buying from Copart, but sometimes with the older cars you've got a chance of getting a pretty decent deal. I just don't trust the description they give. I always take it with a pinch of salt. And I've bought cars from there, run and drive, and then they've come and there's no clutch in them, so they could never have driven, you know, that kind of stuff. But those who've used Copart will know exactly what I'm saying. But I want to talk about this X Type. So I thought we'll just go for a little drive. I've got somewhere to go, and I thought we'll have a chat on the way. So come on, onwards. Right guys, so yeah, so I'll just tell you a little story about this X Type. I saw it on, I've been looking at them for a while, basically just as a tool for work. I didn't want a van because they're too restrictive, and also in some areas now near me, like Bradford, you can't go into the city centre. Well, you can in vans, but they charge you a fortune unless it's a really, you know, one of the new type of vans, which are obviously expensive. So I don't go into Bradford very often, but I do occasionally. So that a van were a non-starter, and I didn't need anything as big as a van. 9 times out of 10 it's not big stuff. I can get the stuff that'll fit in a boot of an estate car. So that was the road, and one of these came up, an X Type. I've been looking at them on eBay, and I could see that the one that I wanted, which was a 2.2 diesel, which is the one I wanted because it's the old Transit engine and the bulletproof, and I wanted an automatic, obviously for, you know, it runs on motorway. And yeah, for that type of car, anywhere from sort of for really high mileage, anywhere from sort of a couple of grand upwards is where we were at. So I thought, right, well, we'll go for that then. And I thought, first I'll have a quick look on auction, because Copart's ideal for cars like this, because sometimes you get them written off from Copart just because they're old cars. They can just have a dint on wing, and sometimes they just get written off. So it's a great place to look, is Copart, for older cars. Anyway, this one was on in blue, which is, I don't think it's a very common colour, this colour of blue, to be honest with you. I've not seen many about, which I'm not bothered about the colour of it anyway, guys. Let's be truthful. But it was a 2.2D auto. Now the mileage on it was 128,000, and I think that put a lot of people off, because the X Type unfairly has a bad reputation of reliability, and it is totally unearned. I'm not sure what it's to do with. I think it's to do mainly with the manual ones, because they were so heavy, and I think it essentially had a Mondeo gearbox in. Obviously the car was much heavier, so they used to go through clutches pretty quick, and gearboxes, and I think that was part of the issue. Now if you get the automatic, or the facelifted automatic, which is a 6-speed, which is what this one was, they were that was the blueprint. It had to be auto, it had to be the 6-speed, and it had to be the 2.2D. So they were an estate, obviously, and they were only available on the facelift model, all them items together. They only packaged it together on the facelift model, which is what I wanted anyway, because I think they're far better looking, these facelift models, really do. I think they're still quite a bonny looking car, to be honest. So I saw it, guys, and I thought, it said run and drive. I thought, well, that don't mean anything but Copart anyway, so I couldn't give any credence to that. But on the plus side, it didn't have any lights on the dash, and the pictures I could see, the wheels look pretty unmarked, which is a good sign if you're looking for a car. You don't want to see curved wheels, you know. The discs look good on it, they didn't look scored or pitted, they look good. That's a good sign that the car's been maintained at very least. So I had a good feeling about it. I didn't know how much it was going to go for, because as I say, based on what other ones are going for on this mileage, this was still a £2.5 grand car all day long. you know, if I'd have put this car onto eBay or auto trade, I would have easily got £2.5 for it, given the condition, because it's in very good condition. It's got an odd dent and a tiny bit of rust, but generally it's in very good condition. Everything works in it, everything works. So anyway, I bid up to it went into the live auction at £450. I thought, oh, that's still cheap. All right, you've got co-parts fees on top, but that's still cheap. So I bobbed in a bid, next one up, £500. Sorry, I bid up. It must have gone to five. It must have been at 500, and then I bid another one, and I went up to 550, and that were it. Nobody bid on it, and I won it at 500. So obviously I knew. I honestly didn't think they were going to accept it, because I knew that it was worth a lot more than what they were asking, unless there was something severely wrong with it. So I left it, and then I heard back from them, and reserve were £1,800. Anyway, obviously I weren't going to pay £1,800 for it, and within an hour they'd come back with an offer. Sorry, I'm getting confused. I did bid £500 on it. I won it at £500, and they came back, and it said reserve 1,800. They came back, they dropped the reserve to, I think it said something like 600, and then they offered it to me at 550, so at £50 more than what I bid. Well, I wouldn't normally do that, guys, with co-part. I normally stick to my guns, but on this occasion I thought that I'd got it. Unbelievable, guys, eh? I just thought on this occasion at 550 it was an absolute steal. So without fees and everything, it came in at 808. So I thought to myself, well, if your car's good, and I'd done my research on the engine, and there's not a lot that goes wrong with them, to be honest, guys, really ain't. So I thought to myself, well, if at that sort of money, I can take the gamble, you know. So I pulled the trigger on it, and then on the Monday, I think it was, I went to pick, or the Tuesday it might have been, I went to pick it up. Co-part brought it out. Another good sign was it started on the button. A lot of the time batteries are knackered in the yards, and a lot of the time the batteries are knackered and they won't start, and this fired up on the button, which were nice. The only thing I had to do was put a bit of air in one of the tyres. It's got a slow puncture, which I'm going to have to sort. So I started the car up, and I have to say, I looked round it and I was more than happy with it, absolutely delighted. But I was 2 hours from home. Well, sorry, I was more than 2 hours. I was about 4 hours from home. So started it up, started up rough, to be fair, but some of them transit engines do start up rough, especially if being stood for a while. Within 30 seconds it was running absolutely lovely. Thought, oh wow, went into gear, lovely. Got out of the yard, boom, it said gearbox fault, and we had glow plug lights on. Thought, ugh. Now, I wasn't initially worried, because I do know that's a common issue with these, is that they get coked up with the turbos, get coked up, and they get actuators start sticking on them, and all they need a lot of the time is just a bit of additive. It's a common known thing on these. If you Google about them, you'll find it on the 2.2D. So I thought to myself, I wasn't too worried. So I carried on driving, and I got home. It got me home, it didn't let me down. I turned the engine off and back on, and the fault went. I took it out for a drive, and it did eventually come back on. It was sort of when you were calling for more power, so when actuator were moving, it was sticking, and then it was going into limp mode. So I've probably had the car, I've had the car maybe, I want to say about 2 weeks, no, not 2 weeks, about a week and a half, and I've put additive in, and it's still working its way through, but it's getting better and better each time. At the minute, I mean, I've been out in it now for an hour, and it hasn't come on yet. It sort of comes on, I can make it come on if I drive it hard, but my feeling is with this one, guys, is just nurse it around, let additive get in and break it down. If it doesn't, the other way to fix it is to drill an hole inside the exhaust, and it's not as drastic as it sounds, guys. It's a very easy, simple, cheap job, and that 100% fixes it, but I'd rather not do that if I don't have to. But yeah, guys, tell me what you think, because I mean, I really enjoy driving it, and after this one, when I do come to replace it, there's no doubt in my mind now that I'm going to go for the XF with this 2.2 diesel engine in it, because it's basically just a newer version of this car, and it's even better, that one, because it's got the 8-speed ZF gearbox, and the ZF gearbox you just can't break. So anyway guys, I'd be interested to know what you think about this Jag, and for £808, what are you guys saying? Hit comments below if you like this kind of stuff and me talking crap about cars. Please contemplate hitting like and maybe subscribe. Of course, it's totally free and it would mean the world to me. So anyway, I'll catch you on the next one, guys.